Hello?
Hello, I'm back in Bitmoji form and here with another nail tutorial. Today I'll be testing out the viral stamping tool French tip nail hack that's been floating all over TikTok and Instagram. I've been getting DMs on Instagram requesting that I try this, so here we are. I'll be showing you the entire manicure process from start to finish as I normally do. So if you're just here for the stamping tool nail hack, there will be a timestamp on the screen for you if you don't want to watch the whole makeover. As always, everything that I used will be listed in the description box below. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and staying subscribed, and let's get into it. So here are my natural nails after removing my last polygel set. My index finger needs a little bit of length and my thumbnail needs a little touching up too. So we're gonna do a full makeover today, starting with cuticle cleanup. I'm applying my Sally Hansen instant cuticle remover to the skin around my nails, letting it sit for a moment and pushing back my cuticles using the paddle side of my cuticle pusher tool. I'm wiping off the excess mush with a little bit of alcohol on a lint-free wipe, and then I'm gently trimming all the white hangy dead skin with my cuticle nippers. When doing this, I move pretty slowly and trim a tiny bit at a time so that I don't accidentally pinch my live skin. I'm using my CND nail surface cleanser to clean off any excess oil or cuticle remover that may be left behind on my nails, and then I'm applying my Gelish dehydrator and acid-free primer. Next, I'm applying a thin coat of my Gelish Foundation and curing it in my LED lamp for 45 seconds. My natural nails are kind of going through it because after I took off my polygel, I didn't apply anything to them to protect them from breaking until I filmed my next video. So I will be revisiting my Gelish Structure Gel to give them a little bit of extra strength and patch up any cracks that I might have. A repeat question that I get is how I manage to grow my natural nails without breakage. The short answer is that I'm almost always wearing some kind of gel polish to protect them. And if I don't, for example, just before filming this video, I am prone to cracks and breaks too because I'm always cooking or cleaning, washing dishes, or being like super rough with my hands. So how I grow out my nails is that I'm usually wearing some kind of gel. Anyway, I cure my structure gel in my LED lamp for 45 seconds, and I only applied it to 3 fingers because I'll be using it to add a little bit of length on my index finger and on my thumb separately. These are definitely not my favorite paper forms, but I use them when I don't want to waste my nicer ones, and they get the job done when I want to just add a little bit of length to my nails. So I'm applying a thin coat of the structure gel to my whole nail, and then I'm building up the tip with it a little bit and immediately flash curing it for a few seconds with my mini LED light before curing it in my regular LED light for 45 seconds. I do this a couple times before removing the paper forms, and then I move on to my thumb. If you're new to my channel, I have an entire video dedicated to what I'm doing here, so if you have any questions about the structure gel or the process, I would highly recommend watching it because I'm just kind of speeding past it in this video. I didn't add any length to my thumb, I just filled in the little gap where my nail broke off on the side. Now I'm just wiping the sticky layer off my nails with a little bit of alcohol and moving on to filing and shaping, which is pretty minimal because I'm just going for a short almond look today. Here are my nails after the filing and shaping. My index finger is looking pretty good, and now I'm moving on to applying a couple coats of OPI's gel polish in the shade Put It in Neutral. I'd say this, Bubble Bath, and Love is in the Bear are probably my top 3 base shades when doing any kind of French tip. I did 2 coats of this and cured in my LED lamp for 45 seconds between each coat, but I only included footage of me applying my first coat for time's sake. So the stamping tool nail hack has been floating all over TikTok, but when I first saw this hack thanks to a few of you DMing it to me on Instagram, I only saw snippets of it. Like, I didn't see close-ups of just the stamping tool on its own, just clips of it already covered in polish as the fingernail pressed into it. So I was super confused, like, what is this sorcery? Is there like a slit where the nail enters, or is this just a basic squishy stamping tool? Because I know I have one of those in my collection. Anyway, I tried it and I can confirm that this is just a basic stamping tool that many of us probably have in our collection, and if not, you can easily get it off of Amazon. The last time I used mine was way back in the day when I was still wearing regular nail polish and doing nail art, so it hasn't seen the light of day in years. Some stamping tools are a bit firm. Mine is more jelly-like, which is perfect for this trick because the tip can poke into it pretty deep without too much pressure on the nail, creating the perfect French tip and smile line. I decided to do a bright look today. I'm going to be using a mix of neons and a couple muted shades. Leave it to me to do a spring and summer look at the end of summer when I've already mentally and spiritually entered spooky season, but here we are. So I'll be using some of my Kiara Sky gel polishes in the shades Let's Flamingle, Caution, Light Up, Tea-Quila Lime, and After the Rain. Next to me, I have some CND nail surface cleanser and a cleanup brush just in case, as well as my nail art brush for touch-ups. The shade Caution was a bit too deep, so I mixed in a few drops of Light Up until I was happy with it, and I applied a generous amount on my stamping jelly. When pressing the tip into the jelly, the shape of the nail kind of determines how you position your finger when pressing into it. A square shape will not require as curved of a smile line as an almond shape, so you won't have to press it in as deep, if that makes sense. I'm doing a little bit of cleanup and going back in to see if I can get a little bit more gel polish on the sides, which ended up looking okay, but I still wanted to touch up a bit using my long, thin nail art brush. I'm just doing a quick flash cure, saving the rest of the orange gel polish for nail art later on, and cleaning off my stamping jelly. I would recommend when you're cleaning it to just use a paper towel and a little bit of alcohol. Don't use anything acetone based because it will break down the jelly and crumble off. Now I'm just mixing a few drops of Light Up with pure white because I wanted more of a pale neon yellow. I'm applying it to my stamping jelly and I'm pressing my pinky into it. Again, because my nails are an almond shape, I want a deeper smile line. So I try to kind of hug the tip and then roll the stamping jelly along the sides of my nails. Then I do a little cleanup and touch up the sides a bit more with my nail art brush. You can definitely use the stamping jelly on its own and call it a day, but you know me, I always like to touch things up until they're perfect, so that is what I'm doing. This hack works. If you haven't picked up what I'm putting down, it's pretty awesome, and it's especially helpful when you're doing your dominant hand with your non-dominant hand. And on that note, let me know if you'd like to see another video using this hack on my right hand with my left hand. So this time around, I decided to take the jelly part out of the base. I kind of prefer doing it this way because holding the bottom of the jelly allows me to kind of bend it, which gives me more control. This shade of gel polish is really creamy, not quite opaque enough, so it required 2 coats and a lot of touching up in some spots. But if I was using a full opacity shade, I probably wouldn't have had to touch up at all. And by this point, you kind of get the gist of what I'm doing. I'm gonna stop talking for a bit and let you enjoy the rest of this process before we move on to doing a little bit of nail art. Before I move on, I'm going to give all my nails one more cure for 45 seconds. I hardly ever do nail art anymore, so I thought that I would ease into it with one of the easiest yet cutest ways to zhuzh up any nail look: daisies. I'm just placing a couple drops of each gel polish onto my palette. I'll be using all of the same shades that I have on my tips, as well as a couple others for a bit of contrast. Again, every shade I used will be listed in the description box in order of use. So to create my daisies, I'm just using a few different sized embossing tools that I found at Michael's, and I'm just kind of going for it. I had no real plan. First, I'm dotting on the petals, making sure that they're nice and even, and when I have them exactly how I want them, I quickly flash cure for a couple seconds with my mini handheld LED light so they hold their shape, and then I dot the center with a complementary shade, flash cure, and move on to the next. Although nail art, especially simple nail art designs like this one, can easily be done with gel polish, the viscosity of gel polish is a bit more fluid, so you have to work faster and constantly flash cure like you see me doing here so that the lines don't constantly spread. I do have the Kiara Sky gel paints, which are a bit more pigmented, but they weren't quite the shades that I wanted today, and I don't know how I feel about them just yet. So I did end up ordering a pack of gel paints off of Amazon, which I'm still waiting for, hence why I ended up just using gel polish here, but I'll keep you posted on those. I think they're a bit of a thicker viscosity, which will make them easier to work with when creating more detailed designs. Anyway, I will once again let you enjoy this process. About halfway through, I got real hot, so I briefly took my glove off to air it out, and you can see my nails on my right hand, which also look very cute. added a few more daisies off camera and gave my nails one more full 45-second cure. Because the daisies are a bit raised, I'm going to encapsulate them with a generous coat of my Gelish Structure Gel. And as I'm doing this, I also build up the apex a bit too. I just want the surface of my nails to be nice and even and smooth, and then I cure for 45 seconds. Now that my daisies are encapsulated and protected, I can give the surface of my nails one last buff to ensure that they're not too thick. And then I sharpen up the shape a bit with a 180 grit file. I wipe off the excess dust with a little bit of alcohol, and then I move on to my final layer of top coat. The only thing left to do is to rehydrate the skin around my nails with some cuticle oil, and that completes this look. I know I probably could have just tried the stamping tool and called it a day, but I figured you guys would want to see the whole process of this look from start to finish. So in conclusion, the stamping tool hack is legit. I will probably do a follow-up video and maybe use it on a square nail shape or try different designs. You let me know which one you prefer. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. As always, everything that I used will be listed in the description box below. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and staying subscribed, and I'll see you in my next one. Okay, love you, bye.